Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Dan here with Plant Abundance. I'm out in the backyard food forest on this beautiful summer evening. It's been very mild temperatures today, a little breeze kicking, and I'm just winding down the night, coming out here and doing a bit of chores. You know, anything that I feel like doing. There's always something I could do if I want to. I'm doing a bit of watering right now. I could be doing some pruning, harvesting, but one thing I wanted to share with you guys, I wanted to focus on for this quick little video is this little garden bed right here. So this was an edge of the lawn, and we carved out this little corner just to give us a little bit more space for growing some vegetables close to the house. So really, it would be very wise of us to plant crops here that we utilize on a regular basis, being that it's so close to the house. In permaculture, we would call that a zone 1 garden. Things that you might go out on a daily basis for, like basil, tomatoes, which I've got a lot of that stuff actually right there, so that you could include that into a zone 1 area. With that being said, when we broke ground in this area, and we have planted things here before, they did okay, but the soil was extremely rough. There's pretty much no life in this soil, meaning no sign of worm activity, a lot of clay. The soil would stick together in these big blocks that were extremely hard to break up. So in certain circumstances like this, I went ahead and I tilled this area. Now obviously I'm not a big fan of tilling, but I've spoken on this in the past, and in fact a lot of this project, the area towards the back end of the food forest, was initially tilled just to actually get the soil so that it was workable, so that I could get my amendments in there, also to do some leveling. And the case is the same in this area here, but this is a really rough patch. So what I'm actually doing in this garden bed here to get prepared for actually next season, seeing as there's nothing growing in here right now, I could actually be amending this bed and getting it prepared so that I can grow an awesome garden next year. I'm doing composting in place. So I've got a bunch of kitchen scraps, vegetables, fruit, peels and such, and I'm burying them. And I've been doing this for the last couple weeks, so I just kind of keep moving along in an orderly fashion, row by row, and I'll dig out a hole and I'll backfill it with some of these kitchen scraps, and within about a month's time I'll have this whole thing having been filled with the kitchen scraps, which are going to break down, help to feed the soil, bring in the worms, loosen up that clay. And so the last step of this is that I grabbed some worms out of my worm bin. I've got some red wigglers here. Once I dig my hole, put the kitchen scraps in, I'm going to put a little bit of red wigglers in there just to jumpstart the process and start that composting very quickly. Coming with the worms. A ton of worms in there. And backfill. It's as easy as that. Now putting a bit of water down in the area where you just compost in place is a good idea too. That moisture is going to help for things to break down quicker and also create a nice habitat for the worms to continue to proliferate in here. So if nothing else, this technique is also helping save a lot of that waste from ending up in the landfill. It doesn't belong there. If you're in a position, if you have any type of yard whatsoever, if you're into any type of gardening, you're going to want to save those vegetable, fruit scraps, even paper towels, and try to work them into your gardening. It really is a wonderful free resource not to be overlooked. So why am I sharing this technique with you guys again? Well, it's a little bit different in that I'm actually dedicating this entire garden bed of the future to this composting in place idea. So I'm getting a jump start on the game. I'm getting all this organic material into the soil, allowing it time to break down, and come next year we'll be planting out in this bed. I feel like this is a really great technique that you might want to utilize. So if you've got an area of the yard where you're thinking about having a garden in the future, you might want to start actually taking the grass off, getting the ground worked up a bit, and then starting this process. So another easy way to get going on that would be to actually lay down a tarp or cardboard or whatever you've got, put some bricks or blocks on top of there if you just got a tarp or cardboard, and that'll kill back the grass on the top layer. And then get into the soil and see what you're dealing with. If you've already got a lot of fertility, a lot of worms and activity in there, then you might not even need to do this. But if you find that you're just not finding any life at all, and it's just a lot of clay or just a lot of sand, then this is something you might want to consider. So for me, I find this to be a better form of composting than making a pile, especially when you're using food scraps. In the past, when I used to pile up my compost, I would find evidence of there being critters getting in there, whereas when I'm burying it, even with just a few inches of soil, there's no evidence of any type of disturbance or any type of critters getting in there. So it really works well that way. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna head inside, it's starting to get dark. I'll leave you with a quick shot of the beautiful sunset we have going on over yonder.